You all might be hungry. Would it be okay? Would it be okay? Today, in this sermon, I am going to give a sermon about happiness as living beings live in the Sabha world. Is happiness something you can have only when you have a lot of money? And is happiness something you can have only when your family is harmonious? There are many things, right? But which one is good? Happiness is when your family is harmonious and your body is healthy. Even if you have a lot of money, if your body is sick and you are lying down, what is the point if you just sit there staring only at money? There is not a single thing that is happy. You come to Yonghwa Temple, learn Buddhism and learn awakening. And you also awaken to things like how well you are living your own life as you live it. So when I look at it, it seems like you are happy, but I do not really know what you think. Are you happy? Even if you run a business and do selling, if there is no one to buy, there is no need to sell. What is the point of putting out a lot and selling if there is no one to buy? The world is living together with many people, going along together and living together. And that is life in the world, and that is happiness. If you try to live well only by yourself, that is wrong. Got it? So everyone has to live well and be happy in the same way with each other. And that is how the world becomes happy. So now our country is at a level where we can eat and live. And so people do not really know what it was like to live with difficulty and to live in hardship in the past. That should not happen. Even a single grain of rice is so precious. If we do not eat, we die. Even a single grain of rice is extremely precious. It seems like you have not lived in such hunger and hardship. But people like me were born and lived before the Korean War. So living in hardship is deeply ingrained in my body. So these days you call it elementary school. In the old days it was Kungminakyo. And they called it Kungminakyo in Japanese. And because it was a school name the Japanese had made, they changed the name. They did not need to change it, but they changed it anyway. But politicians change it because they think they have to do at least one thing and then leave. What is wrong with calling it Kungminakyo? They also changed all the addresses into road name addresses, so it is confusing and we do not really know. You can just use it as it is, so why change it? So when you look at it, when new presidents come out, they do that kind of thing, saying they will do at least one thing and then leave. But even if you may not judge it that way, when I judge it, when I see people who came out as presidents, changed things like that, and then left, they mostly seemed foolish. As I have watched presidents up to now, there has not been a single person who was smart. Smart people, they are all foolish. You do not know how foolish they are. So because they look at the world in such a dark and foolish way, the nation's politics does not work and they do useless things. That is what it is. Useless things. If you cannot do anything but just sit still and eat, it is better to just sit there and then leave when it is time. If you keep trying to make something new, it becomes very hard for us to live, right? It is hard. Just because Japanese people made it, we newly change it into our language. What does it matter that Japanese people made it? Then why use Japanese? And why use English? They are all loan words, right? People's level of awareness is extremely ignorant. When I look at it, it is extremely ignorant. So it is very hard for us to live. Do you all know all the road name addresses? I do not really know what is what. Even if 100 years or 1,000 years pass, no one will know all of it. It would be good to change it back to the original. Throw away everything that exists now, right? The original one is much better when you actually use it. But I do not know why they changed it at all. About taxation in our country right now, the judicial institutions and the law. Taxation. You all know taxation, right? If you earn money while doing business, you pay taxes. Things like that. All of those things are entirely Japanese. You just do not know it well. Everything. We inherited Japanese things and are using them. And that is what taxation and things like this are. So when you know it, the Japanese are one level above us. One level above. You just do not know it now. But if you go to Japan, the way they live is one level above us, I am telling you, and their level of awareness is much better than ours. Korean people, whenever something happens, they try to take advantage and lie, but if you lie like that, the country becomes bad. So as you live going forward, because you live being influenced and colored by that kind of thing. There are difficulties in living, that is what I am saying. Got it? Even if you live only this one life this year and then leave, that is not the end. There are children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren, and it will keep going down. How hard will it be for those descendants to live in the future? Right? They should live with ease. If you take away greed, a human being has nothing. Greed holds everything. The other day when I went to the Nongyeop Hanaro Mart, I felt bad about how much they overcharge people. So I gave a sermon once the other day. These days, when I look at the news, Nongyeop has now gone under investigation. You saw it, right? They say the chairman of the Nongyeop Federation gets a salary of 400 million won a year. It is 400 million won, and then they also give 300 million won more as performance pay and whatever else. So the money he takes in a year is 700 million won. Our country is not yet at a level where we can give salary workers 700 million won a year like that. Even the president's salary is only a bit over 200 million won a year. So what kind of Nongyeop boss takes 700 million won a year? They are pure thieves. Where did that money come from? They do the kind of thing where they peel off and eat the outer skin from living beings, taking what comes out of farmers sweating blood and toil as they farm. So in one way you can say they have a lot of greed, and in a worse way, they are only not holding a knife, and they are more frightening than robbers. I know a bit about Nongyeop. I have known for a long time. Our country really chose President Lee Jae-myung well. You do not know it well, right? So why is that? From now on, you should not do business where you know it in front but the bottom leaks out behind. Do you know how many people are stealing and living off it in our country right now? They did business, took losses, and ran a deficit, but then they take that and when the year end comes, they receive performance pay. Do you know what performance pay is? It is a special bonus, that is performance pay. If there was a deficit, you should not take it. But even when there is a deficit and they are in debt, they borrow more debt and take performance pay. If the president does not clean this up, our country has no vision. Bank presidents' salaries are tens of billions of won. They say some bank president takes hundreds of billions of won in a year. They do that kind of thing because the country is about to go under. For all salaries, the president should receive the most, and there is an order. Even beggars have an order. So why is there no order? Even beggars who live off handouts have an order. Anyway, in our country now, the president is calling for democratization and saying the people must live equally. If you want to live equally, you must not do that kind of corruption. What kind of people could not even earn money and had a deficit? And then why do they take performance pay? They are pure thieves. In a word, they are swindlers. I will not say which company it is, but everyone knows it. They all steal the people's pocket money. Pocket money. Our country is sick in more than one or two ways. Sick. It is. On the outside they say Korea lives very well and the whole world looks up to it. But if you look inside, it is sick in more than one or two ways. It is terribly sick. What is that? It wastes useless money. They are all shaking down the people's pocket money. Why do they do that kind of thing? And if you look at Nongyeop, they give loans to Nongyeop employees at zero interest with no interest at all. Where in the world is there such a thing? Someone goes into someone else's company, cannot even last a year, works for a few months and leaves, and then they give severance pay or performance pay, and some people received 5 billion won. It was on Pongsom, right? Because it is the ruling party, they stay quiet. But if the opposition does that kind of thing, it becomes an uproar. When I look at politicians, I do not even want to see them. Their own backside is rotten and filthy, but they keep peering only into other people's backside and saying it is rotten. Oh dear, I do not know why they do that kind of thing. You know, the country has to be at ease for your lives to be at ease. You just do not know it well. They give the president a small salary, but do you know who the president is? He is the king of the country. If he is the king of the country, until he serves as president, the king is the person with the highest position. If people take more money than the king, How could the president feel any satisfaction in doing the job? The president does all the politics of the country, but every other person takes all the money. Where are there people like that? So because they hand out so much salary, prices keep going up. I said that once before too. When farmers farm and sell their goods for purchase, when those goods come into Garrick Market, big corporations with money buy up all the goods. They buy them and then auction them there. When they auction, when you look at the auction like this, they buy them. As soon as the goods come up from the countryside, a margin is already added there. A margin is added, then they auction and add another margin. Then the person who bought at the auction adds another margin. Then when retailers go and buy goods from where the auction was received, they add another margin. Retailers take them and when they sell in the market to people who come to buy, they add another margin. If you do that, something like this happens. An apple that was about 2001 ends up becoming 8001 as you keep adding on. If it were 8001 per apple and the farmers took all of that, those people would feel life is worth living. But it is not like that. In the middle, they stick on layer after layer. That is why prices are so expensive. Because prices are expensive, restaurants buy goods and do business. And because prices are expensive, they say no money is left, and that is what it has become. Then food prices, oh dear, they say because they do delivery fees get added. So unless they raise food prices, no money is left. They just gradually raise all the food prices. So these days, do you know how expensive it is? A single roll of gimbap costs several thousand won. If you calculate by cost, it is not even worth 101. How many coins would you give for that little thing? But that is how money keeps going up. It is not only important for your time of living, but for children and grandchildren too. For those descendants who will be able to keep living down through generations in the future. Living in the future will be truly shed tears of blood if they are to live. As the population decreases, people have become extremely stingy. When I go out, I go to the market often. People have become extremely stingy. They have become stingy, so it is not like the old days. They are not kind like this either. Who made all that is that rich people and politicians made it all. These days, when you look at politicians, it is an uproar because they took money and ate it. No, they already receive a big salary, so what kind of money are they taking? And they say you have to pay money to get nominated as a National Assembly member. Why would you pay money to do that? I would rather have them take an exam. If they take an exam, take an exam and take an exam. In the old days when you took the state exam, everyone took an exam. Take an exam and ask, what plan do you have that you think of for the people? You just take an exam. Like taking the old state exam. Take an exam so that if this person becomes a National Assembly member, he will govern well for the people in the future. Everything comes out. And one more thing is, if you will not take an exam, you have to receive a written pledge. If you are elected as a National Assembly member, you must receive a written pledge. Absolutely. I will not take corrupt money, even a single 10-1 bill. If I receive it, I will write my resignation on the spot and leave. There has to be that kind of pledge. If not, when you look, they are people who come in purely to fight, fighting roosters. Bring those people in and make them talk. Their bellies are only full of filth, and they do not know anything. Watch carefully, you must not see the world as punishment. The Sabah world must be happy for the Yonghwa world to be happy. You do not know it, right? Though once after you die, living beings die every day. They say the sound of crying and screaming rings out all the way to the Yonghwa world. But if you go outside and scream because you have no money at home and live with hardship, they say you are crazy. So in the Yonghwa world they hear the screaming inside the home even better. Amazing, right? Go and live there once and see if it is a lie. So seeing things like that, I am saying a person has to live life well. That is why we are here now at this precious Yonghwa temple, and that is today's sermon. By doing this, the world becomes brighter. That is what I am saying. Got it? No. How could the president know everything? With what ability? If you give all these sermons, they listen and say, wow, It is rotten here and there like this. When the president knows this, it becomes a great help in governing like this. So I think the law must be changed. First, what is it? All salary workers must receive less salary than the president. Why is that? A person's value falls, right? You may have heard it or not. Someone's son goes somewhere, so he gets this much salary each month. And how much does your son earn each month? Women sit down and really circulate this talk. Then it seems they think receiving a lot of salary is good. The more you receive and the more you take, the shorter your lifespan is. Do you know? Does it sound like a lie? Among people who receive a lot of salary, there is no one in the world who stays at that workplace for a long time. They stay briefly and then leave. We must change the law right away. Change it, because the president who leads this country and oversees all the affairs of the nation is the most precious person. In our country there are swarms of people who receive salaries several times more than the president. 3 times, 5 times, 10 times. 10 times is nothing. They receive 20 times like that, and they are everywhere. What kind of act of ruin is that, if you give that much money? When you think about people with no money, people who earn steadily and pay taxes and live, this is not fair. Make the president's salary the top number 1, and then you must give all other salaries after that, as a rank below the president. Got it? I have been thinking this from long ago, and today I am saying it. Then the president's annual salary now is about 200 million or 500 million won, and that is not much. Do you know? Then no. They say the non-GIEP chairman takes 700 million won. What kind of pure thief is that? What kind of money is 700 million won to take? After stealing everything, non-GIEP is rotten now, and soon it will fester and burst. It is rotten. So among themselves they got tangled up and intertwined and tied this up tightly. Because they are eating it up, they cannot blow it open. But it keeps accumulating now, and debt has piled up to the sky. There is debt. It is not only there. It is not only non-GIEP, it is the same elsewhere too. So at this time, we must cut off all their heads cleanly. Cut them off, and everyone who receives more salary than the president must be driven out and sent home. All of them. And another thing, there are big corporations, right? Big corporations also must not take salaries that big. They should take only a small salary. And if they receive performance pay, they should receive only a little as stocks. As stocks, if they take an enormous amount of money like that, does that make sense? Did big corporations just appear on their own? If there are no people, there are no big corporations either. If you make TVs and there is no one to buy them, you just throw them all away. What would you do with them? Because the people buy them and sell them for them, TVs come out and all sorts of things come out. Is that not so? Then you must not take a lot of money just because you made those things and sold them. And just because you earned a lot of money. What I am saying is the correct answer. I am going to keep saying this until it gets corrected. Do they hoard money like that to take it with them when they die? The world is full of thieves and swindlers. Our country has a lot of citizens, and there are many good people too, but there are also those rotten and extremely greedy people spread all over the world. So even if you think that when you have a lot of money, other people recognize you more, when I see those people, I see them as some petty schemer, and I do not hold that kind of thing in high regard. Back when I was doing business, those big corporations, people like that, they would throw their weight around, plain and simple. Then I would not stay still. I would not stay still. So am I the kind of person who would just stay still? Not a chance. If the company is small, if the company is smaller than theirs, then they start abusing their power. They say, our company is a big corporation. But what does a big corporation even mean? Do you know what meaning a big corporation has? A big corporation is just a company that came to exist because small and mid-sized partner companies make goods, make products, and deliver them. The companies that actually have the technology are all the partner companies. Got it? For example, you set up a utility pole, and when the wind blows it bends, and when snow and rain come and wind blows it breaks again. Would that be okay? So that should not break and should not bend. and a utility pole should stand for a long time, for decades, right? For that to happen, there is a special idea in it, technology. So in the old days, it used to break all the time. I solved that so it would not break. So I mean, you cannot do it just with words like this. People in the world these days are well educated. So you have to speak academically and scientifically. Saying it is good just with words like that does not work. But in big corporations, back then, salespeople would just do it quickly like this and it would just work. Whether it breaks or not, they just hand it over and it is done. Okay, and that is how it goes. What gets ruined is only the company, getting sick to the bone. Do you know? Only the company gets sick to the bone. So I analyzed the metal precisely, did it precisely, and applied it precisely and presented it. When I told them, if you want to do a data analysis of what you have been using, bring it out, it was all complete nonsense. That is because they did not learn anything. Because they have no learning. So back then, I overturned everything. So if you deliver it the way I tell you, and if it breaks or bends, I will take responsibility. If someone says they will take responsibility, what can you even say? Salespeople do not listen well. Then who do you have to talk to? You have to talk to the president of the company. So I really made a big contribution. Do you know? So even now, in a way, I am pouring out a mind that is truly too precious. There are an enormous number of things we are using in this society right now. There are lots of artillery shells and things like that being used in the defense industry right now. With things like this, when it comes to metal, I am not boasting, I am a doctor. But when I look at it like this here, it has developed a lot and they are doing it well. They are doing it well. So for example, an artillery shell burrows into the ground. But if the strength of this metal is not right, it cannot go into the ground. It goes in a little, then it gets crushed and cannot go in. As it goes in, is it only soil down there? There are rocks and stones and things like that, right? No matter how big a rock is, if it just makes contact, it burrows in like it is soil, into the rock. So it goes in without limit. It goes in 50 meters, 100 meters. You have to have that kind of special technology for our country to develop in the future and for the world to look up to our country. That is what I am saying. So it is not good just because a country is big. Think about it at the very least. A solid country with a sharp mind is good. What is the use if it is only big? So I have so much I want to say, but first, when I look at our president's salary and the salaries of people in public enterprises and so on, it really makes me angry. But if the president says, hey, you bastards, I get this much, so why do you get more? If he says that, people would say the president is complaining because his salary is small, right? So the president cannot speak either. Is that not so? But I do not know why the heads of these people doing politics are so blocked up. If there is a good idea, the president is a person, the prime minister is a person, everyone is a person, and they are all people who eat and live. So if there is a good opinion and a good idea, they should say something like, it would be good to do it like this going forward, at least something. But there is not a single person who says such things, and they sit there like a mute who swallowed honey. Then just take their salary and leave. That is how it is. So I had been wanting to say this long ago. But up to now I kept enduring and enduring, and now I felt I had to do it. And that is why I am speaking today. But if I went into a company as the head of a public enterprise, as a chairman, and the business went well and it earned a lot of money, then they brought that guy in and seated him there to make money. Did they seat him there to make it fail? Is that not so? And if he receives about as much as he deserves, and if he produced good results at the company, he should feel fulfillment from that. And when he leaves, is it not good to receive a single certificate of commendation? But he says he has to receive a lot of money and take it with him. He says, because you all made a lot of money because of me, you have to hand over this much. If he thinks like that, then he went in to make money in reverse order. Is that not so? So I also worked in companies, big companies, for a long time. I worked in big companies for more than 40 years. So what would I not know? I have it all down perfectly, and I am a doctor. So because the world must be equal and fair for all salary earners, whether it is a public enterprise, or the salary of a head of a government agency, or any salary earner, we must cut off receiving more salary than the president. If they take that much money, and if they earned a lot of money, they should pay taxes to the country and keep contributing money to the nation so that the Republic of Korea lives well and lives as a wealthy country. Why would an individual keep stuffing pocket money into their own pocket, right? And as I see it, I have many things to say, but if I do it all at once, those people forget again. So appropriately, today I only have to do about this much. So as a salary among salary earners in the world, the president's salary must be the highest. The president must receive the most. That does not mean you should give hundreds of billions. There is an order for people. There is an order. There is an order even in a household. If there is a father, and the child and father eat together as father and child, is the father not the elder? Even if you say let's eat, the father must first lift the spoon and eat, and then the child eats, because you pamper the child. If the father has not even lifted the spoon yet, and the child is picking up and eating all the tasty things, what kind of child is that? That is how it is, right? Our country is a nation of etiquette in the East, so if you do it that way, it is worse than the way those riffraff live. So I had been thinking I must say this today. Got it? And I said something like this once before too. But there is one thing our country is sick with. Our country has been sick for a long time. What is it? Regional hostility. Why do you do regional hostility? All Joseon people are the same Joseon people, so are people from some area precious, and people from some area ugly like trash, and some people inferior? There is something deeply sick within our country. The president must smash this sickness. This is not an ordinary sickness. In the old days, do you know what people in Daegu would say when you went to Daegu? If you do even a little something, they say, do not get smart. They say, you bastard, do you know who I am? You bastards, like that. They say, if you act up, I will tell everything to the Blue House president. You bastards, like that. These people keep dragging the president into everything, no matter what. So because many presidents come from that side, they must think the president is all their relatives, cousins, fifth-degree relatives, uncles, maternal uncles, everything like that. So whenever they speak, they say things like that. I was shocked. Back then, when I went to Daegu, they would do that. So why do those people say such things? They are people who have nothing to do with them. Then you all evaluate whether the presidents who come from there did a good job as president. They acted like trash as president, completely messed up. In the end, they went to prison, went to jail, ate prison food and came out. They all did that. Who is there who did it properly? Is that not so? There is not even one person who did it properly. So why do regional hostility? They are the same people of our country, precious citizens of our country. So why not live with loyalty in the same way? And why do you keep doing regional hostility like this? They say they do not even want to see people from Jeollado if they go there. Why is that? Do people from Jeollado ask you for rice, ask you for money, ask you for rice cakes? They hate them like that. Then are you saying only Gyeongsang-do should live well and Jeollado must not live well? They are truly bad people. Go and look these days. When I went to Busan the other time, it was truly sad. Every store had its doors shut, all the shutters were down, and as I drove along the roadside, it was quite a sight. Why are the people who stirred up regional hostility shutting their doors like this? Merit goes as it was invested, and sin goes as it was committed, like that. If you hate others, it is no good, you get punished. So we are the same people of our country, precious citizens of our Republic of Korea. So you cannot say someone is lovely and someone is hateful. I do not know why they do regional hostility like that. They are bad people. Who among the presidents from that side did it properly? Just look, you all know, right? In a democratic country, you should serve as president and leave fairly and honorably. But they all raised a military revolution and turned the country upside down. They say we live well because of someone. Because of whom do we live well? And how do we live well because of someone? Think about it. They say we live well because of Park Chung-hee. And we live well because we did the Saemangeum project. They sit there talking about Saemangeum. Who built the Gyeongbu Expressway from here to Busan? Was it not built with money that came from Japan? And where did that money come from? During the Japanese colonial period, they took Korean people as military laborers. And during the Second Sino-Japanese War, they took Korean people and dragged them all to the battlefield. And my father went there too, right? They went to the battlefield and fought. And they said live bullets poured down like a sudden downpour. Like a downpour. But even so, he came back alive without being hit by a single bullet. It is not that our country lives well and does well like this for no reason. People were dragged by Japanese people, risked their lives, went to the battlefield, died and survived, and some became crippled with disabilities, and some died, right? They say they built the Gyeongbu line with the money brought back as that compensation. And they also built the Pohang steel factory. Back then, $700 million was an enormous amount of money. That is what Japanese people say. They say, you became rich like that because we gave you money. When did you ever live well? That is what I heard they say. Yes, when you meet Japanese people. But in my view, a lot of it is very wrong. It is good that industry developed by taking money and building the Gyeongbu line. But then what are the people supposed to do who went to the Japanese battlefield, fought, came back, and still cannot get compensation? These days, when you look, the comfort women keep demanding compensation all the time and making an uproar. In reality, then who compensates the people who went to the Japanese colonial army, got shot and died, got blown up and died? So I got a call from Anyang City, saying they would compensate my father for having gone to the army during the Japanese era, and they told me to bring evidence. Evidence like photos or things like that. So I brought everything, and they gave no money and did not even give the photos back. So one day I went and said, you people, if you will not give money, then at least give back all the photos you took, right now. Then they said they would give them later. Why later? Give it to me right now. They were messing around, those damn bastards. So I just went hard at them. Then they made a huge fuss saying they had to find them. Saying they had to find the photos. There were several photos, so I recovered them. And I brought them back. And when I looked at the money situation all the way through, it looked shady. So I took them back, recovered them and brought them back. And did about 1 or 2 years pass? After about 2 or 3 years, I got contacted. They told me to come into Anyang City Hall because they would give compensation. When I went, they said they would give 120,000 won, about 120,000 won. When I think of the people who sit there and steal in broad daylight, this is not a miserable thing. This is. I have traveled this Gyeongbu route and paid the toll every single time, 100%, every time. Originally, the compensation money received from Japan should not have been used to build industrial routes and set up factories. Originally, it all should have been distributed to the people who went to the army. Is that not so? But they did not give a single penny, used it all up. And then after that, when I went because they said they would compensate, the city said they would give about 120,000 won. When I asked who is giving this, they said the government told them to give it like that. I said, you bastard, you just eat a lot yourself, and I just left with those bastards, without taking it. But originally, if you look at the Expressway Corporation now, oh dear, every place with the word corporation attached is a place where they stole. Those guys with corporation attached. If you look closely, even the Integrated Steel Company, if they used money, built that steel company, and made money, then they should distribute all those shares as dividends. The Expressway Corporation should also give shares, but without giving a single penny, they are sitting there gobbling everything up little by little. Should the president not know that? Now they use that money to make money, became huge conglomerates and wealthy tycoons. But if you make money with other people's money, is that really earning money? That is the price of lives. Then if you want to compensate the people who went to the army during the Japanese era, money alone does not even work. If you think about it now, even if you give hundreds of billions or trillions, it still would not be compensation. But they gave not a single penny, took everything, and some unrelated bastard goes there, makes money off it all, collects a salary, and sits there eating until his belly is bursting. The people who went there and made sacrifices were buried underground through death, became soil, and that is what happened. Then where do they go to complain? If they used that money and built the Gyeongbu Expressway Road, then because I am family until the day I die. Until the day I die, if I drive on the Gyeongbu route by car, it is not even enough even if I travel without paying tolls. But I paid every single time. I paid all the money, and up to now for decades I have been paying as I traveled. Should they not compensate that? Is that not so? They are such precious people. Because the country developed like that, and now it is a world where it is good to eat and live, and good to earn some money and live. Some absurd bastards make something, saying they will make Nangi up, make this, make that. They create some corporation and whatever, seat someone as president, and sit there handing out tens of billions of won to them. That does not make sense. What did they even do to take such a high salary? I once gave a sermon about this before, but our country has exactly one sickness. If we cannot cure this sickness, our country cannot develop greatly. What is that sickness? In our country, wages are too expensive. For our country's level, wages are too expensive. So they say Hyundai Motor is all going overseas. If you go overseas, if you do not give a big salary and just give half of our country's salary, there is still plenty left for the workers. Why do wages get paid so high in our country like this? So if they just go overseas, originally, in Korea, because you do not know well, if you bring in robots and make cars, you do not need many people. Robots do it. But in our country, there are those damn unions, those hardline unions. If union members do not obey, they just shut the doors and do not work, and then only the company gets damaged and only the business owner dies. So our country has that big sickness, the hardline unions. I am telling you, in our country, wages are too expensive. So look at this, listen to what people say these days. Gangnam went up by 20%. They say, in Gangnam, by the ditch edge, the Han River is a ditch, right? They say apartments built on the ditch edge of the Han River went up by 20%. So what did I say? It is simple. If we create an era of local decentralization in our country, even if you beg people to live in places where houses are built on the Han River ditch edge, they will not live there. If you build companies in the provinces, would a guy who works in the provinces come up to the Han River every day, sleep, and go back down? The reason our country is being made sick is that the people who became president from Gyeongsang-do created that sickness. It is just because I do not say it. What would I not know? Because presidents from Gyeongsang-do kept holding the presidency for a long time. They created that sickness. In Gangnam, expensive houses, 4 to 5 billion won, 6 billion won, houses that go for tens of billions, every single one of them. The hometowns are all those people from that side. They are not houses owned by business owners or rich people. But go out here and ask about apartments. Ask whether the house prices went up. They actually went down. But those people came out on the news saying it went up by 20%. If it goes up by 20%, what kind of thing is that? If you make the country like that and do politics, how would the people living there look at the people living in Anyang, Gunpo, Shihong, Ansan, and places like that? They look and say, oh, you bastards are truly lowborn commoners. They look and say, oh, you poor bastards. Then even though they are the same citizens of the Republic of Korea, people on that side will be seen as people who live in a rich, wealthy district like high officials, and people living on this side will be seen as lowborn commoners, right? If you do it like that, our Republic of Korea can never become an advanced country that lives well. So why do they keep building all the good factories that earn good money in Gyeonggi-do? Go down to the provinces. If you go to the provinces, will someone hit them? Will they ruin the factory? Why on earth build semiconductors in Yongin? In Yongin. What is Yongin even a place for? So they say filth sticks with filth, and it is something that makes our country go to ruin. Just wait and see whether I am lying. Rather than doing it here, tell them to build it in Daegu or Busan or over on that side. Why build it in Yongin? It has to go far. Do you know why? Factories have to be far away from Seoul. That way, the people here move to the provinces, right? If it is close, going back and forth is useless. It is the same as not doing it. It has to go far. So Gunsan Sayamanjiam is so good. They spent useless money there and worked for decades to make that land. And then they put up solar panels all over it. And if you go and look, you do not know how ugly it is. And then local government elected people come and say this and that. And when I saw it, it really looked pathetic. Oh, they do not even have knowledge. And they stutter when they talk. I saw. They have no knowledge. They cannot even calculate. That thing called solar power, it looks like you gain in front, but you lose underneath behind. When you calculate with your fingers, it looks like you made some money, but solar power has a lifespan. Because it has a lifespan, it is not that it always receives solar energy for 12 months and 365 days. This winter, right? In winter, it cannot receive much solar energy. Even if the weather is cold and gloomy, there is not much sunlight, so when it becomes winter, not much electricity comes out. But when I look at how those people calculate, it is purely finger counting. Do you know how much money it costs to install that? It costs enormously and expensively. But they say they will keep profiting from it up to 25 years. 25 years, my foot. If it goes 15 years at best, even that solar power gets exhausted and hardly produces any electricity. But those solar panels, this problem is really serious. Originally, with ours is unbelievably good, but our country's is expensive again, so it does not work. Because it is expensive, if you do solar power with our country's product, you cannot even get your principal back. All of it is Chinese. Because they do it with Chinese products, it absorbs heat weakly, the lifespan is short, and cheap is cheap trash. So Chinese people just make a fortune, a huge fortune. They make a huge fortune because of our country. Then why can't people in our country do it? Because wages are expensive. Even if you make it cheaply, the cost does not work out, so you must not do it. So in our country, salaries are uselessly expensive. Why did they take salaries so high like this? So they sent one to Sayamanjiam, and one must be sent to Daegu or Busan. So if you send all the factory personnel here down to the provinces, when even one semiconductor factory comes in like this, the partner companies that follow it are enormous, too many to count. Those partner companies, if the personnel of one semiconductor factory is 10,000, the partner company employees become 20,000, 30,000, that many. So the more you go down to that side, the provinces completely bloom. So the provinces live well too, and there is no need to come up to Seoul from the countryside. It is so good. It has to go far, so that people who own houses here give up their houses and go down. If it is close, they do not go down, they just go back and forth from here and stop. Only Gangnam house prices keep going up every day. Why is that? 70 billion, 80 billion for one apartment. That is crazy. That is a chicken coop. That is a chicken coop. So what kind of money goes into a chicken coop like that? The president probably knows this too. If the president does not cure this sickness, who will cure it? So if you go down to the provinces, there are an enormous number of small and mid-sized partner companies. All of that goes downward. If you go down, living in the provinces becomes good. Think about it. Even what they say about Daejeon, about the blue house needing to go to Sejong City and so on. Why go to Sejong City? It is complicated there. They have to merge it all with Daejeon. Merge Sejong City and everything. Make Daejeon the second special city. Seoul is the first special city, and Daejeon is the second special city, and merge it all completely. After merging, They must make Daejeon have a population of about 5 million to about 7 million. Then Daejeon and Daegu are close, and Daejeon and Jeonju, Gwangju are close, closer than Seoul. So if you send factories down there, revitalization in the region happens by itself. Do you know? That is why the country must be balanced, and human beings must live well in equality. That is what I am saying. Got it? That is why I say it. It is not that I say it because I hate. If you want to do that, other people cannot do it. Only the president can. And if the opposition party keeps chasing and teasing with their mouths, you have to peck that mouth off, so they cannot speak again. Why do they keep slandering what they themselves cannot do, sitting there like that, right? Only the president can do it. And the people must live well and be equal. The people must live well. And those members of the National Assembly are not needed at all. Those members of the National Assembly, those people, whether ruling party or ruling party, these days they are always eating money and what? Money? Why does money always follow them around like that? Politicians always become a problem because of money. Women or men, all of it was quite a sight. So if we always pray and bow at Yonghwa Temple and diligently seek Holy Maitreya Buddha, then good things happen and we live well and become rich. If we say things like, after dying we go to the Yonghwa world and it is good, they look at it the same way. They see it the same as existing Shakyamuni Buddha temples or Jesus believer temples. Do you know? I tell you, Yonghwa Temple is not a temple. So at some point in time, I'm going to remove this temple character. Do you know? We have the best name in the world. Do you know? Say it. That's right, it is the Gong Thought Research Institute. There is no name as good as Gong Thought in the world. So then, what would happen if people who are greedy, take big salaries, and steal come into Gong Thought? They die. Why? Those greedy or corrupt people cannot enter Gong Thought. Got it? So look, what is greed? It is a living being. The more you give, the more it likes it. If you keep giving money too, it feels good. That is the mind of a living being. But a person who has the mind called a living being cannot enter the Gong Thought Research Institute. Only a clean and pure person can enter the Gong Thought Research Institute. That is what I am saying. Is that not so? Only if you enter the Gong Thought Research Institute can you later die and have reincarnation rebirth. A person who did not enter cannot have reincarnation rebirth. So I brought out to the world that Gong Thought is the one and only Gong Thought in the world. So they say if your father dies at a temple, if you hold a Chindo ceremony, then your father goes to the land of happiness, the land of perfect bliss. And they say he receives samsara, receives a body, and comes right back. But that is all what swindlers say. Swindlers. What do you mean, receive samsara and receive a body and come? Do you know what it is that people in the world believe in? It is not God, it is Hanyunim. Do you know? You have to live knowing that. God is what Christianity made as God. What originally left a precious word for every citizen of the Republic of Korea is Hanyunim. It is may Hanyunim protect our country, long live our country, not may God protect our country, long live our country. Do you know that? It seems people in the back do not know. Your answers are not clear. You do not even speak. There is no answer. So originally it is Hanyunim, Hanyunim. Do you know what God is? God refers to a heavenly spirit. God is a heavenly spirit. Because it is a heavenly spirit, if you believe in God, then there is a heavenly spirit. So what is that heavenly spirit? If you look at people who are possessed and shamans who have spirits in them, there is a lot of the Spirit of God in them. What is that? It is Jeshochen Wang, Jeshochen Wang. So shamans who do shaman work because they are possessed by the spirit of Jeshochen Wang. 2/3 of all shamans in our country are the spirit of Jeshochen Wang. Got it? What is that thing called Hiseochen Wang? God refers to a ghost floating around in the sky. A ghost floating around in the sky. Back then, people who at least lived somewhat decently and did not live wickedly toward others, what did they become after they died? Does anyone here know? No, right? They become Dakabi, Dakabi, Dakabi. Do you not know Dakabi? Do you know? Has anyone seen a Dakabi? Raise your hand. So you only know the name. and you have not even seen a dekabi, right? I am asking because I know. You can see a dekabi with your eyes, but only the upper body is visible, and the lower body is not visible. The lower body, the part below the waist, there is no lower body, only the upper body. And a dekabi appears exactly in the shape of a person. Even that, people who live decently come as dekabi. Do you know? Those who cannot come as dekabi, people who lived and committed many sins and did bad things cannot even become a dekabi. They cannot even become a dekabi. There is no one who has seen a dekabi. A dekabi is strange. I held a fire like this, right? Fire, or something like a torch. I held fire, right? At night then a dekabi comes and takes the fire away. It comes like this. But the person holding it is not visible. Even if a person next to you can see it well, it takes that fire exactly away. When it goes like this in a line. When it goes, that fire increases in an instant into hundreds, thousands. Why? They keep taking it along among themselves like this, taking the fire along like this. Did you understand? Think about it. There are many people who will become dekabi when they die. But somehow they say they will receive giving commandments of Buddhism and go to Yonghwa temple. Yet I am saying there are many who become dekabi. If you become a dekabi after dying, think about it. Wouldn't it be miserable? Wouldn't you think, I should rather not have come into the world? Why come out, live, and die to become a dekabi? If it were me, I would rather not come if I were going to become a dekabi. So that is why a person must live life well. So then, when a rooster crows, the dekabi disappear. So why is that? When the sunlight, the sun's Buddha's enlightened light comes out and shines into the Sabha world, the dekabi become unable to go anywhere. Why? Because if the sunlight is received by the dekabi's eyes, the eyes go blind. A dekabi has to stay without being able to take even one step. So when a rooster crows before the sun rises, they all disappear and go away. But when I say that, these people sit there blankly. It is a precious story. Would it be good if a person lives and dies and becomes a dekabi, instead of wandering around as a beggar? When I say such precious words, you should think, what virtue did I build that I came to Yonghwa temple, met Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha, heard this good sermon, and later I will go to the Yonghwa world in the afterlife. Truly I received great blessings. You should think that. Is that not so? Sitting there blankly. What is that? It is like someone who has lost their mind, like someone going crazy. How precious it is. Even what I said earlier throughout, for future generations, the country must be set right like that. So that is why President L is a precious person. That is what I am saying. No, look at other people, those people who were there and then left the other time, drank alcohol every day, a gojumikdegi. Do you know what a gojumikdegi is? Drunk and saying, go forward, or go backward. This is called a gojumikdegi. Gojumikdegi. They elected such a person as president. So, oh dear. And because he comes to work late, because he feels sorry, he slips in quietly through the back door. And when it becomes about 2 or 3 o'clock, he ends quickly, and then behind it there is a sauna bath. And he just does sauna every day and sweats. And you have to sweat out the alcohol toxin again. The alcohol toxin. Because he drank all night, there is alcohol toxin, right? You have to sweat out the alcohol toxin, right? To do that, you cannot just do it and have it come out. If you go into the sauna room and sweat in the heat and drink water like that, then the alcohol toxin comes out again. Then he drinks again in the evening. So he came for that purpose. So because he cannot drink alcohol there, his face dries up. So for all the alcohol toxin to come out, it takes several years. If you live there for a few years and take care of your body, your face will get a bit better. When I look now, the face looked completely ruined, wrinkled, dark. Alcohol poison is that scary. So that is why I say Yonghwa temple is precious. You know that soldier, Private Choi, who drowned last time. Because of that, a colonel got tangled up and went through hardship, and then received a not guilty verdict, right? This time I thought, why are they not promoting that person? They should. And then I saw that this time he went from colonel to getting a star. You saw it, right? So all of that. People say merit goes exactly as you build it. The country should tell people like that to protect the country. If you leave it to thieves and swindlers, will they protect the country? Even now, there are tons of people who should be eating prison rice. They are everywhere because they do not investigate properly. I am not lying. So I am saying Yonghwa Temple is precious. So I always say this. The president should do it according to his own convictions. According to his own convictions. There is no need to ask the opposition party. Asking and cooperating like that is for asking about things you do not know. That kind of thing. If you do well, you are smart. You are a doctor. Why ask? You must ignore them and govern independently. That is what I am saying. Ignore them. Got it? Ignore them. And these days, because the people's education level is high, if they hear something, they understand it right away for the most part. People all know. If you look at our country for the next about 10 years, the old elderly people will all just be taken away by the Grim Reaper, and then the population will all decrease. I am not lying. So that American Elon Musk, the car company boss, you know, what does he say? He says everything is good in Korea, but the population keeps shrinking and there are many old people, so there is no vision. But the country called the United States, if people come in from other countries, they say, hey you bastards, get out, don't they? Our country has to keep accepting people. We have to accept them. And at school, students study a lot, and good kids go far abroad a lot. Now many have already gone. You have to hold them all so they cannot leave. To do that, we must set up many good companies and good things in our country. That is what we must do. Only then does our country live well and become a rich country. If all the smart kids who studied a lot all leave, what do? Companies go overseas and pick a lot of talented people and bring them in. They go out secretly, and so they do a lot of spy work. I know it all. It is just that I do not speak. Talent spies. So you all must always listen to the sermons about Gong Thought. If you do not listen at home, you must not. Even monks, even while doing computers every day and researching that, they listen every day. If you do not listen, a good mind does not come out. You must always listen. You do not know, but because what I say is beyond imagination, you do not understand, but there is an enormous amount in it. So even my body, I use it as mine, and even if it is my body, you all must know how precious this body is. Most people just live without knowing. Even losing just one finger is a loss. You all go to training and shoot guns, right? You pull the trigger with this finger, like this. But if you pull it with this one, you cannot hit the target. Try it. Am I lying? This one is even worse. And the fourth one too. The little finger is even worse. It lacks strength, so it does not even pull. Then do you pull with the thumb? How do you do it with the thumb? I am telling you, even one finger is precious. So even if you have a hand, do you know how precious it is? Only this finger can properly shoot a gun. A person without this cannot even go to the army. How does someone without this finger shoot a gun? When it is not there, the body our parents make for us is extremely precious. Even if you die when you die, before dying, if your body is unwell or you have pain, you must fix it all and then die. If you die without fixing it, it is not good. Got it? At home, you must always listen to Gong Thought. Every day, you must listen. I listen too, even though I say these words. I listen, but it seems you do not listen well. And if you look quietly at people, their wisdom is greatly lacking. If my body is not good, I come to Yonghwa Temple, come to Maitreya Buddha, and receive the precepts. And when the Buddha gives the precepts like this, the pain in my body gets better. But there is not a single person who wrote such a thing, even though I have done it for many people. Do you know how much I have done even on people's heads while giving the precepts? Even if you receive it just once, dementia does not come and you do not get a stroke. How precious it is, but you do not know that gratitude. Look, above this neck, above this, there is the head, right? On the head, there are 2 eyes, a nose, a mouth, and 2 ears on both sides, right? All of this is alive. It is alive. It moves like the hand. It is a living thing. Do you know? But if it breaks down, it means it broke down. If it breaks down, where do you go to fix it? When it breaks down, the core for fixing it is all inside the head. So it means your eyes do not see and you became blind. Then even those eyes are fixed from the head. If your eyes are bad, and you treat the back or legs or places like that, will the eyes open? About the human body, I am not lying. I am not an ordinary person when it comes to the human body. So I came to Yonghwa Temple's Maitreya Buddha when my body was not good like this, and I received the precepts from the Buddha, and so my body became truly good. My body returned to normal. You should write such words in detail, right? But they do not. These days you do not know. But people who cannot sleep at night because of insomnia, about 1/3 of our country's population cannot sleep. You do not know well, but insomnia is everywhere. For that too, come and receive the precepts and see whether sleep comes at night or not. The moment you close your eyes, sleep comes, smoothly. So even though there is Maitreya Buddha in such a good Yonghwa temple, when I look at what you do as Buddhists, I cannot even give you a score. Got it? Why are your answers not clear? Did someone hit you or something? A person's head has to open up to that extent. Life is hard and you cannot get a job. But if you cannot get a job, why do you try to force yourself to get one? If you cannot get one, you can live as it is. Do you know? Why try to get a job? If it does not work, live as it does not work. Because your mind cannot keep up to that point. You cannot do it. How do you think some people earned money? They earned it with their bones aching. Others did too. That is why there is that saying from old times, if a merchant cannot poop, even a dog will not eat it. They said you walk 10 ri to earn 1 coin. You know the proverb, right? That is how hard life has been. But go look at Anyang Market. Even though it is cold in the dead of winter, people squat on the street and sell. They do not really do it during the day, it is always at night. Why is that? When the central market merchants close their doors, they sell on the street. Sometimes people come to shop late, right? Those people go to the market and the doors are closed, so they buy there, at the street stalls. When you see that, their hands are frozen like this, and it does not work well. But when you see it, it is pitiful. If you give birth to a daughter, marry her off, and then she sits on the street like that at night. Who would give birth to a daughter and marry her off? They would not, right? So I am saying if the country is stable and the people live better and live well, you can live without doing that. If you look, they are all people who came up from the countryside. Native soul people do not sit on the street doing this. They are all people who came up from the countryside. Why come up and sit on the street doing that? Foreigners earn all the money and take it away, and Koreans come to Seoul and squat on the street, hands frozen and swollen, saying they are earning money. Why live like that, right? Seoul is no good. You should not live there. There are different people who are suited to live in Seoul. That is why I say this. A good writing, for you, is leaving a comment with an awakened sermon. But even if you leave comments with awakened sermons, it does not have much meaning when I read them. Rather, you should write, my body was not good like this, but I went to Yonghwa Temple, went before the Buddha, received the precepts, and my body became this good. Here, even if you come and do not receive the precepts, you come and sit normally and your body becomes better. In the old days it was all like that. People with leg pain, people with bad joints, when they came in the old days, there were tons of people who did not even enter my office, they just stood outside and only looked, and even just by being there they left without pain. I am telling you, ask the monks whether I am lying. My back hurts, my neck hurts, I'm dying. You know over there, what is it? Some Oriental medicine hospital. They said they went to Zhengong Oriental Medicine Hospital and there were doctors and professors and they got treatment. But they came with their shoulder like this. It should be like this, but they came like this. Even if they say they are good, being good is not truly good. You only know what is long or short when you measure it, right? So why am I saying this? When a woman comes to me, She always cries, she cries and cries. And if she comes in the morning and cries, it feels bad, right? So I made her not come. Do not come. Why do you cry again whenever you come here? But she was young. Was she about 30, 32? But she always cried, sitting with her legs stretched out. So I told her not to come. So then she went there instead. And she came back with her shoulder like this. After going for about 2 years, her body ended up becoming disabled, right? One day she came. Oh, even though you told me not to come, I came shamelessly. So I looked, and her body was in terrible shape, twisted. So I asked, why is your body slanted to one side like this? I got treatment, but it became useless and got ruined. When I looked, I realized she had been crying like that from before, and seeing her body, it was no good, it had become disabled. So when I adjusted it with one touch, her shoulder became normal like this. Exactly. Just because a person studied a lot and is smart does not mean they know well. They only know that field and do not know other things. Do you think doctors know everything? A dentist can only do teeth. Do you understand? So a person only knows their own field. If a Buddha is to save living beings, you cannot save living beings with just one field. You must know countless things in many areas to save living beings. So it is certain that you go to Yonghwa Temple, it is certain, but even at Yonghwa Temple there are good places and such. The better the place, the higher the grade, the better, right? Is that not so? So you do not suffer there or anything. But if the price is the same, go to a good place, a higher place, live comfortably, and when the times become peaceful and good to live in, then you smoothly reincarnate and come back comfortably. At that time, you yourself know and act it out. It is not that a Buddha sends you and such. Sending happens only here, only here, only this place, Yonghwa Temple, sends you, only here. The person doing the Chindo ceremony here today is also a great uncle, a paternal uncle. He is a paternal uncle, and a scholar, a scholar. He is a scholar who teaches classical Chinese. When I was very young, if he read Korean writing, it was amazing. But maybe because he read too many books, I do not know, but the person strangely got Nangi in him. Because Nangi got in him, he could not live a normal family life, and then he passed away. So when I was young, I grew up in the same room with my grandmother and my great uncle. So I lived together with them until my early teens. But if you look at it, they say my great-great-grandfather held office in the old days and did many bad things. Because he did many bad things, it seems like he received sin, and that is why it happened. He received sin. So in my view, I judge it like that, because he received sin. Sin keeps going down. It goes down. But what is one blessing that was received? My great-great-grandfather did a Buddhist construction for a Maitreya Buddha statue, a statue standing receiving rain. So he is the husband of Bayap Guang Bosal, right? They say that after Bayap Guang Bosal ate breakfast, it became 10 o'clock. It became 10 o'clock, and when she saw at that time, there were 3 pine trees said to be big, 500 years old or 700 years old, and under those trees, Maitreya Buddha was standing there, standing in the rain. She saw that while sitting, with clairvoyance, so she told that to her husband, and then he asked, "Did you clearly see that place with your own eyes?" "I saw it clearly." "Then, can you go find it?" So she said, "I can find it." And when they went, there truly was Maitreya Buddha standing like this. Because it was being rained on, it was black, it became black because it was stone. So my great-great-grandfather did a Buddhist construction for that statue there. Because my great-great-grandfather did that Buddhist construction, he went to the Yonghwa world. And there, Bayap Guang Bosal prayed enormously a lot, made many good prayers, and put in much merit. And then my great-great-grandmother said that Maitreya Buddha would come into our family in the future. This Bayap Guang Bosal, do you know? So I am saying she knew that in later generations Maitreya Buddha would come. So my grandmother was her daughter-in-law, and she told that story to my grandmother. When my grandmother slept with me at night, she always told that story, knowing it all. So whether her grandson, me, came as Maitreya Buddha, or if I have a child then my child will come. My grandmother did not know well, but as I kept growing older, many guests from outside came to the temple. When they came, I always joined in there and said a word or two. Strangely, even though I did not have to go, the monks listened to me saying a word there, and they said, "That kid is not an ordinary kid. Watch the kid carefully." So when monks came and told my father, it became like this: "You must raise your son well. In my view he is not an ordinary kid." So my father did not know whether Maitreya Buddha was coming or whatever like that. Because he did not know, he just answered like that. My father did not know the precious fact that Maitreya Buddha comes to the Saha world. So he just cursed every day and did things like that. So in a way, is it not true that because I came into the world, all these people all became successful? Is that not so? Think about it. These days, in the dead of winter, who is there who brings 2 whole watermelons every day, puts them down, and sits eating them like that? Is that not so? Go to Jogi temple, that Jaja Asa of the Jogi order, and look, there is not even one snack, not to mention watermelon. But look at this, 2 whole watermelons placed in front with rice cakes. See, isn't that right? A person should have that kind of blessing, shouldn't they? For you too, rather than doing things like this after you die, it is better to go to Yonghwa temple and live comfortably. This is what I am saying. The Yonghwa world. Got it? That is exactly what the content is saying. So what is the point of receiving something like a mere watermelon in the Yonghwa world, when there is nothing you lack there and you live comfortably? And it does not look like this. Everything there, the whole place, is made of gold, of pure gold. Got it? There are Dharma halls too. It is not that there are none. It looks like Yonghwa temple. This kind of Dharma hall here is not made of gold. But there, everything is entirely made of gold. Gold. They made it with yellow gold. The ceiling, the walls, the floor, everything is gold. I am telling you. How good would it be to go there and sit there? When you see with your eyes, it all looks like a beautiful world. It does not look like this bleak Saha world. That is why it is good otherwise. Why would you go there? So there are underground mountains, you know, mountains. When you look at a mountain, when you go to a mountain, you climb up. But if you go to the Yonghwa world, there are mountains, but from the mountain it goes in like flat ground, straight into the mountain. You go in, and inside, the Dharma halls are connected in unimaginable ways. Connected. It is not that there is only one Dharma hall, they are connected countlessly. Hundreds, thousands are connected. Inside, everything is made of gold. This, I saw it in the old days. So when was it that I went to Daejeon? It has been 10 years. No, it has been 20 years, right? Back then, I saw it in detail and told you about it. So I am telling you, the whole world there is made of gold. There is nothing like it, nothing like this. So it is not just one Dharma hall. If you enter like flat ground under the mountain underground, the whole world is Dharma halls, hundreds, thousands. Then no matter where you go, Dharma halls, everything is made of gold and gold. So think about how good it would be to practice cultivation there. To the eyes of someone who went to the Yonghwa world, everything looks like that. Ordinary beings cannot even go there, and it does not even appear to their eyes. Got it? So once you enter the Yonghwa world, you do not want to come out, because it is so good. There are people singing, people performing pansori like chanting. There is nothing that does not exist. If you want to go anywhere, you jump just one step and you are there. Just one step. Got it? That beautiful place is the Yonghwa world. So you go to that beautiful Yonghwa world and there is no death. In life, there is no time you will die, because there is no death. I saw it in detail and explained it. I told the monk, this is what the Yonghwa world looks like. It is astonishing. Got it? So things like heavenly palace, sky palace, celestial palace, all of that is lies. Where is there some celestial palace up in the sky? Where is it? In the place called the sky. There is nothing. Even if there is, you are going as a ghost. If you want to pray for a wish of your heart, you must not do it to Hananim. You must do it to Hanunim. Hanunim. I am telling you, you must not say Hananim. If you say Hananim, that is Sakra Devanam Indrajasyak Chinwang. Most people who receive spirits receive them from the highest Jasyak Chinwang in the sky. I am telling you, now a lot of time has passed and you are hungry, so eat lunch deliciously. Today too, in Yonghwa Temple this year as well, there will be many good things. You will be healthy, your household will be peaceful, and your face will become prettier. It is good if your face becomes prettier, right? So we prepared delicious duck gook today. This year already, how many times have you eaten duck gook this year? The more duck gook you eat, the better. So eat delicious duck gook and have many good dreams. And leave good comments on the monk's YouTube that he works hard on without sleeping, too. Got it? That means you must do many good deeds. Because you must do many good deeds. Got it? So if you go to the Yonghwa world, you are young, in your 20s, you are not sick and there is no reason to be sick. You never age in life. How good is that? I'm going there too. You are not sick, and you are in your 20s, and your face is pretty there too. Once you go, everything changes. Your face becomes pretty too. Your face is pretty. How good would that be? If you close your eyes, you go there right away. If you close your eyes, we should end, right? What are you doing? You already went to the Yonghwa world, and you are still there up to now, aren't you? Oh, when the great uncle said, I'm shedding a lot of tears, I said I should have done it earlier, but I am sorry I could not do it quickly. Still, since I am grateful just that it was done, I say, thank you. That paternal uncle, his heart is completely kind like a Buddha. Like a Buddha. He went to a high place. Where is that high place? Exactly, it is the high place on the top grade side. And do not fight if you go too high. Right? If you have a lot of greed and someone goes up before you, you get angry. Oh, honestly, no one is left out now. I did it all. I did it all. You waited a long time. Oh dear. It has been over 60 years. What can you do? But still, I took good care of it. Shakyamuni really made it. He really made it. What is the use of being with monks every day if you are as a ghost? So I told you, religion will disappear. Just wait and see. Now they even say they will smash unification. And they bring up Shinshinji and that D soon, too. D soon, and what else? That Joan Guang Hoon or whatever, that will get smashed too. I told them to wipe it all out. I always say it, wipe it out. You must eliminate those things for the country to be peaceful. If you tell us to eliminate it, we eliminate it. I listen well. We do not harm others. Our subscribers are the highest right now. Monks are sighing while watching our YouTube now. The monks say, even though we prayed at temples for so long, what is this? And they cursed like that. That BBS seems to have about 800,000 people too. BBS is originally the Buddhist broadcasting station. BBS. BTN has nothing to do with Buddhist broadcasting. It is a personal setup that came out. BBS is done directly by monks. So what are they trying to do? So religion should all be eliminated. Still, you all are fine. Even if you die in a day or two, you have faith, right? As for me, if I die I know where I go. So whether I die or not, whatever, right? That thought came to me. But doesn't that thought come to you? It's good. At that point it's the best. How much better can it get? I also did many good deeds, actually, after coming into the world. No. Living alone, I did many good deeds, right? Isn't that so? I did many good deeds while living alone. The Yonghwa world? There are many in the Yonghwa world, hundreds of thousands of people. That's because there are people who went after receiving the precepts, and there are also people who did many good deeds. Those people who cared for sick people their whole life, those kinds of people go to the Yonghwa world. If you look, there are such people. Because caring for patients for a whole life is not an easy thing. That is completely like Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, like Kashitagarbha Bodhisattva. So shouldn't those people go to such a place? People who ate well and have bellies full of fat must not go, because they will cause trouble there. That is the seed stock. Even if the earth is destroyed, the Yonghwa world does not perish. Do you know? Even if the earth is destroyed, the Yonghwa world does not perish. Why? Because there is no physical body. Got it? That is why it is called Gong Thought. So if you go to Christianity, there is something called Noah's Ark. They say that during Noah's Ark, almost everyone died and disappeared. Right. But Noah's Ark is a lie. Because they say it rained a lot, a great flood came, and all people were swept away and disappeared. But it is a lie, and even if the destruction of the earth comes, because the Yonghwa world has no physical body, even if you shoot nuclear bombs and all kinds of things, there is no way to die and you do not die. And the temples are not open outside like this. They are all inside the mountain, underground. Underground. To others it looks underground, and to ordinary beings it looks underground. But to those who saw it in the Yonghwa world, it is not underground. Because the entire earth is made into this Dharma hall. I'm telling you, if I want to go to a Dharma hall and pray, the entire earth is all a Dharma hall. So there is no reason to die. That's what I'm saying. Even if war happens and the world shoots nuclear weapons, there is no way to die because there is no physical body. You only have the light of radiance. There is no physical body. So there is no way to die. So even if humans perish in the world, the seed stock is all in the Yonghwa world. Think about it. I'm explaining it piece by piece. Do you understand? Only living physical things can die. But there is no physical body, right? The physical body becomes old. You can't even use it even if you take it. You throw it all away. And it's enough if I only keep the precious light of the soul. Why bring the physical body? You can't use it. It grows old and rots away. So in this world, on this earth, only the seed stock is all contained there. Later I will give a sermon about the destruction of the earth. Listen once. This earth is not always only beautiful like this. Do you know? Only our country has 4 seasons, and even the time is exact. Sun rises and sets. Right. Abroad it is not like that. In some foreign countries, for 1 or 2 months there is no night and only day, and then, after 1 or 2 months, night comes again, but the night isn't this long. After about 2 or 3 hours of night, it becomes day again. At 12, 1, 2 o'clock it's sleeping time. It's midnight, but in some foreign places the sun is up and they work at that time. There are many places like that abroad. So I'm telling you, there is no beautiful land like our country. Our country is exact. So think about that properly. Look at places like Poland or Norway. Those places are the complete opposite of our country. The day is long, 18 hours, 20 hours, like that. That's how long the daytime is. Then how much time do you have to sleep at night? You'd have to sleep in the middle of the day. But in the middle of the day you work, you can't sleep. So I'm telling you, there is no beautiful land like our country. There isn't, I'm sure of it. And there is no city in the world that is as clean, pure, and beautiful across all 4 seasons like our country. Even North Korea has a long winter, colder than our country. The farther up you go, the colder it gets. Go to China. The land may be fertile, but there are deserts and cold places and all kinds of things. Is there a beautiful country like ours? Japan too, you know? Think about that carefully. Being born in such a beautiful land is also a blessing, and you must be born here to be able to go to the Yonghwa world. That's what I'm saying. They listen to the Gong Thought I talk about and use it, but they don't come, right? Think about it. They have ears, can't they understand? But they don't come. They use it well though. They always use it, I see they use it, but they don't come. So the seed stock is not that many. If you turn all the grain you farmed in summer into seed stock, there is nowhere left to plant it. Where would you plant it? Isn't that right? There's nowhere to plant. So useless seeds can't become children. That's what I'm saying. So they say there aren't many seeds that are usable. Originally, even in Christianity they say that too. They said precious seed stock is not many. So my words are the correct answer. The correct answer. So later, the world is not always only beautiful and good like this. If you go to the Yonghwa world, you'll know everything. You know the Saha world. You know it all once you're there. But here, you don't know. If you hear my words, then when you go there, everything will be remembered. You can know, that's why the world changes like this. Over a long time, a country like Japan sinks into the sea. It sinks. If the Earth's revolution shifts just a little, tilts just a little in its revolution, Japan goes into the water. Right now, the ocean is bigger than land. So if the revolution shifts just a little, Japan goes into the sea. If it goes under the sea, isn't that the end? They could go in because they committed many sins. We have never committed sins, not even once. What sins did we commit? We only lived being wronged all the time. So there is no beautiful land except our country. Even in songs worldwide, there isn't a song like that. The beautiful land song doesn't exist elsewhere, only our country has that song. Do you know? Even if I stay up all night, I can't say everything. I know an enormous amount, but I can't say it all. So we must do it little by little over time. You must know all this and go to the Yonghwa world, rather than going without knowing. You should know. So the Saha world is like this, and then go, right? It's a simple story. The number of seed stock isn't that many. If you farm 1 majigi of rice field, you usually get about 3 sacks of rice. Then the unhusked rice is 6 sacks. Where would you plant 6 sacks of rice seed in 1 majigi? Isn't it that rice seed stock is what you plant in spring? Where do you plant all 6 sacks for 1 majigi? I'm telling you, the seed stock isn't many. With 1 small scoop you can plant 1 majigi if you make seedlings. But where do you plant all 6 sacks? I told you, we came as seed stock. Right. So someone who went to the Yonghwa world after doing many good deeds in society, and someone who awakened here, and received the precepts and went to the Yonghwa world, those are on different levels. Isn't that right? Even the clothes are different. Go there and see. Some wear blue clothes, some wear yellow, some wear white, everything is different. I'm telling you to go see. Go see. Am I lying? So I have a lot to say, but since there is no time, I'll stop at about this much, and we'll do it over time. The people who will come, they already know. Even patients know when they come. I already know in advance the people who will come to me. I know beforehand that they will come to me. They come because they have built some kind of merit. They get better quickly and then leave. So isn't it amazing? It's amazing. One bhikkhuni nun who came from Daegu was a married monk, and her husband was also a monk. But he always beat his wife. The wife was also a nun. But because he beat her so much, there wasn't a single part of her body that was uninjured. So she always clung earnestly to the Buddha, clinging to Shakyamuni, earnestly, day and night, every day. If her husband just beats her every day, what else can she do? She has to pray. But when her body hurt so much that she could no longer live normally, she prayed like that, and Shakyamuni Buddha told her directions. Directions, he gave her directions, but she said, even though it's the Buddha, I can't find the place with just directions. Then you have to tell them something more, like a phone number or an address. They say Shakyamuni Buddha even told her the address and phone number. Isn't that amazing? With that, she found her way and came, bringing one of those big wheeled bags you pull, like a bundle. She pulled that bag and came. She had decided to get treatment for 3 to 6 months, and she came that prepared. But I fixed it quickly, right away. Isn't that amazing? So even though it has been 2,600 years since Shakyamuni passed away, dead doesn't mean truly dead. If he had completely disappeared, how could he tell her anything? Jesus also gives guidance. It's really amazing. Even monks in temples, if they pray a lot, they get a clear message and many people come to find me. What did they use to convey it? They conveyed it through Bhaisajyaguru Buddha, the medicine Buddha. Originally, the medicine Buddha is Maitreya Buddha. Do you know? Then if Maitreya Buddha comes to the Saha world, why is he called medicine? They said that to save sentient beings, you cannot save them with only awakening sermons spoken by mouth. Then what do you do about sick bodies? You have to heal the body and take them. How would you drag a cripple along? Isn't that right? That's why he is called the medicine Buddha. Because there is a medicine line. They say that anyone whose hand reaches can heal illness, so the title medicine is attached. If it were only words, it would seem easy to bring people along, but it's not like that. So even people who are sick and ill, the Buddha, with the hand of the medicine, Buddha, will heal all those illnesses and guide them all to the Yonghwa world. It's all written like that. That's why Maitreya Buddha explains it like this, calling him the medicine Buddha. What did I say? Got it? So that's why he is called the medicine Buddha. I won't name the exact temple, but I told you before, if you go to a temple in Jolanamdo, I went knowing everything, but that monk didn't really know. And even if Shakyamuni Buddha tells them, ordinary beings can't understand it. So not just anyone receives salvation. You must know that. Salvation is not for just anyone. Even if it's explained, they can't understand. So even though countless sermons have gone out from a place like this, it should be overflowing here, but people don't come. That means there are reasons for it. So they said there aren't many people who can receive salvation. Oh, it was funny to me. If you go to Anyang and enter deep into the recreation area, there's a Jogi order temple. A monk there sprained his ankle going up and down the stairs. What was the temple's name? Yonbolam. Even after a year of treatment, it didn't get better. He kept limping, and that monk was a prayer monk. They say if a temple isn't doing well and has no devotees, when that monk goes and prays, many people come to the temple. So they select him and send him around as a prayer monk. But because he was limping everywhere, he felt sorry in front of the devotees. So there's a Maitreya statue. Every day he prayed there. I can't live like this. It's too embarrassing. Please fix my leg. Then, they say Maitreya Buddha spoke from the Maitreya statue. Oh, are you still limping? Think about it. How embarrassing. And then, after a little while, a devotee will come to pick you up. The Buddha said like that from the Maitreya statue. The moment those words were spoken, a phone call came right away. It was from a devotee, a woman who runs a flower shop in Yeouido. She said, "Oh, monk, your ankle still hurts, right? I'm already here, and there's somewhere I need to take you. So let's go." And she came to escort him, and she brought that monk to me. He came limping, leaning on a cane, barely able to walk. And I saw he was about 4 or 5 years younger than me. This punk called me older brother and started that nonsense. Older brother? What older brother? He should call me Buddha. Oh, older brother, that punk kept doing that. So I adjusted him and fixed him right away. Once I fixed him, he kept seeing me and calling me older brother. Oh my, I have so many stories. I don't talk about them, so you can't even imagine the episodes, because I don't talk. If we go on too long, we get hungry, so let's stop. When would I ever tell it all? Now we should stop. It's not that they don't know they're foolish, ordinary beings. Ordinary beings. If the karmic connection had continued, many would have come to me, but the connection only went that far. So that's how it became. The connection only went that far. So it's hard for the connection to keep going all the way to the end. It's hard. I'm telling you. It's hard. So if you want to go to the Yonghwa world, sit in a high seat, and become a Buddha, can an ordinary person do that? With the mind of an ordinary being, you can't. If you go to the top grade, everyone is Buddha level. So how good is that? Is it just like winning the lottery? It's the American lottery. Funny, right? I have a pile of good stories to tell, but I can't tell them all. I can't tell them all. Even on this earth, there are many countries that disappear. Countries that disappear from the earth. Do you know? They disappear. North and South will open too. You know? Even now, they say North and South will open. Originally, there's a route from our country to Pyongyang, and then to China and Russia. Routes are meant to be connected like that. They say that route will open. Probably before President Lee Jae-myung's term ends. It will happen. The world is so scary. Look how they went and just grabbed a foreign president and brought him. Did you see? They wipe out the guys who are eating and partying there, and they snatch them all and bring them. That's how scary it is. They can take Kim Jong-un too, anytime. They just don't do it. Do you think they can't? They can snatch him up and take him away right away. They take him like an eagle swoops down and carries something off. So that is unmanned aircraft, drones, and I'm telling you the world has become like that. Do you understand? It has become that way. So look at that laywoman coming from Andong. Her leg is limping and it hurts like she's dying. But she didn't come because someone told her, go. She came because she knew she had to come. Do you know? Try walking around a market to buy things. Even if your legs hurt and it's hard to walk, you still come all the way here, far away. If you look at that, the seed stock is like this even if you float it in water. Only the ones that don't float, only the ones that are full and heavy, become seed stock. The ones that float, even if you plant them, they're empty husks, so they don't become seed stock. It's the same principle of the world, I'm telling you. So even if you say you're dying from pain, as long as your life is still attached to you, you can still come. That's what I'm saying. Isn't that right? You have to live life thinking about that. With an ordinary being's mind, it's hard to finish all your own matters and still come. Even though there's a temple right next to here, I go at least 5 times a day, 5 times, usually 6 or 7 times a day. It depends on what a person decides in their mind. I've seen many truly good things from that too. Next time I'll tell you again. Because I go like that, the temple shows me things in the Dharma hall, to me. So it's not that someone made that, I made it. Because I go there, it is shown. If I don't go, how would it be shown? It's all in you. I'll explain again next time. They show such good things, so it's really good. It's astonishing. So next time I'll show you again, I'll tell you. Even if I talk for 100 years, 200 years, I can't say it all. But you all, from what I see, are kind of impressive too. Sitting here skipping lunch, you're impressive. So let's eat lunch now. Good work. I'm so tired. I'm tired. Even this morning I came properly, but coming up here is hard, so I got tired. I always said it. There aren't many seed stock. There aren't many. So you should do things knowing that. And what's the use if a lot of people come? If they come and cause trouble, sometimes it's worse than not coming, right? What's the use of coming and causing trouble? All kinds of people come. Everything comes. A lot of scammers came here too. You know, scammers. They always turn their backs on me and scam people. There are many bad people who turn their backs on me. Oh, there are many. I just don't talk about it. The law of all things in the universe, the Gong Thought. The teachings of Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha, the founder of the Gong Thought. An enlightened Buddha emits light from his body and saves living beings with Buddha's enlightened light. The light of the sun that creates all things is Buddha's enlightened light. And only the Buddha's enlightened light of an enlightened Buddha can make humans reincarnate. The Buddha's enlightened light of the living Buddha. That is precisely the Gong Thought. Receiving Shugi means embracing Buddha's enlightened light, that is, the Gong Thought, within my body. After death, there is no samsara, only everything becomes extinct. If you receive Shugi with the Buddha's enlightened light of an enlightened Buddha, you will have eyes that can see the Yonghwa world even after death. Chendo and Shugi are only possible through the Buddha's enlightened light of an enlightened Buddha. Don't receive Chendo after death. Receive Shugi while you are alive. Believe and follow only what you can see, hear, and confirm. The dead cannot arise interdependently, only the living can arise interdependently. Just as gold cannot be made artificially, a Buddha comes as a Buddha from the beginning, and a living being cannot become a Buddha through prayer or Zen meditation. However, those who have received Shugi can receive Buddha's enlightened light and become living Buddhas. All these Gong Thought were created by Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha. Like the sky and the earth, the sea and the mountains, the source of life and creation, the limitless and eternal truth, the Gong Thought. See, hear, and meet Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha's Gong Thought directly every Sunday at Yonghwa Temple in Surazan Mountain, Anyang.